Unit 1. Plague.
を悩ませる。
The athlete has been plagued with injuries in the last few years. Alienate.
を遠ざける。
The teacher alienated John from the other students in his class. Contentious.
論争を招く。異論の多い。
He avoided commenting on highly contentious issues. Susceptible.
影響されやすい。感染しやすい。
Birds are susceptible to many diseases. Exacerbate.
を悪化させる。
This temporary measure will only exacerbate the situation. Exodus.
大量流出。
The lack of affordable housing is causing an exodus of young people. Animosity.
敵意。
We're rivals, but there's no personal animosity between us. Predicament.
窮地。困難な状況。
His company is in a serious financial predicament. Liquidate.
資産などを換金する。
The bank was forced to liquidate its assets. Rationale.
根拠。
The party leader explained the rationale for the bill. Adamant.
断固とした譲らない。
The politician was adamant that he would not resign. Clique.
徒党、派閥。
The boy formed a clique with some of his classmates.
Replicate.
実験などを再現する。検証する。
The students replicated Galileo's experiment. Lucrative.
利益の大きい。儲かる。
He wants to run a lucrative business. Hindsight.
後になっての判断。後知恵。
In hindsight, my forecast was too optimistic. Vindicate.
の正しさを立証する。
The new discovery vindicated his theory. Trait.
特徴。
We inherit physical traits from our parents. Liaison.
連絡。連携。
They are working in close liaison with the local police. Ransack.
を荒らし回る。
Burglars ransacked 3 houses on Chester Street. Proponent.
擁護者。支持者。
There are a lot of proponents of this theory. Meticulous.
細部まで気を使った。
He has been meticulous in his planning. Blatantly.
あからさまに。露骨に。
The trial was blatantly unfair. Hamper.
を阻止する。
The rescue operation was hampered by the bad weather. Asylum.
亡命。
He was granted political asylum in the United States.
Attribute.
を何々の作品だと考える。
This piece is attributed to Bach. Confiscate.
を押収する。
The police confiscated his computer as evidence. Substantiate.
を実証する。
The experiment results substantiate her theory. Gregarious.
社交好きな。社交的な。
I think Italians are generally gregarious and open-minded. Quell.
を鎮める。
The riot was quelled by the police. Acrimony.
トゲトゲしさ。
The manager's acrimony made players nervous. Tenacious.
頑強な。
The occupation forces faced tenacious resistance from people. Stifle.
感情などを抑える。
He tried hard to stifle a yawn during the class. Offshoot.
派生したもの。
This group is a direct offshoot of the association. Diagnose.
を診断する。
The patient was diagnosed as having the flu. Entice.
を誘惑する。
The TV commercial enticed many people to buy the product. Conjure.
を思い起こさせる。
To many people, Paris conjures an image of romance.
Solace.
慰め。
He lost his wife and found solace in his pet dog. Hassle.
煩わしいこと。
It's a real hassle to fix the flat tire. Myriad.
無数。
The adventurer has overcome a myriad of difficulties. Stringent.
規則などが厳しい。
More stringent standards are required to ensure food safety. Alleviate.
苦痛などを軽減する。
I had surgery to alleviate back pain. Onset.
開始。始まり。
This treatment may prevent the onset of the disease. Caustic.
辛辣な。
She made a caustic remark about the other candidates' policies. Lethargic.
無気力な。不活発な。
He always feels lethargic in the morning. Rampage.
凶暴な行動。
A group of youths went on a rampage through the town. Ongoing.
進行中の。継続している。
It is an ongoing investigation, so I can't reveal any specific details. Dispute.
紛争。論争。
He attempted to settle the dispute between the two countries. Elusive.
捕まえにくい。見つけにくい。
The giant squid is an elusive deep-sea creature.
Infer.
を推論する
I inferred from what she said that she had not been well. Morale.
指揮
We discussed how to improve staff morale. Frivolous.
軽薄な浮ついた
He is a frivolous womanizer. Albeit.
ではあるが
They accepted the compromise, albeit reluctantly. Extol.
を絶賛する
He extolled the virtues of lower taxes. Conjecture.
推測
What the detective said was pure conjecture. Ultimately.
結局最終的に
Ultimately, the election results were as I had expected. Manipulate.
を操作する巧みに仕向ける
They manipulated her into signing the contract. Commitment.
約束
The president met the commitment to the employees. Catalyst.
触発するもの
The oil crisis acted as a catalyst for searching for ways to save energy. Eschew.
を避ける
She eschews any party that requires dressing up. Demise.
崩壊消滅
This treaty led to the demise of the whaling industry in Japan.
Sporadic.
散発的な
Sporadic fighting continued after the rebel army surrendered. Propensity.
好ましくない傾向
Genetic propensities influence our behavior in many ways. Sedentary.
座りがちの
I have a sedentary job with little time for exercise. Tantamount.
等しい
To say nothing is tantamount to absence. Wane.
弱まる衰える
His enthusiasm for his job will never wane. Resurgence.
復活再起
The release of the new book has led to a resurgence in the author's popularity. Mar.
を台無しにする
The event was marred by bad weather. Corroborate.
を確証する
The attorney got evidence to corroborate the defendant's story. Elicit.
返事などを引き出す
This questionnaire is to elicit information about educational expenses. Squander.
を浪費する
He squandered his fortune on sports cars. Rout.
乾杯
The party suffered a rout in the general election. Reinstate.
を復帰復職させる
He was reinstated after being proven innocent.
Admonish.
を戒告する
He was admonished for neglecting his duties. Recuperate.
回復する
He is recuperating from knee surgery. Subdue.
を押さえつける
The police subdued the suspect after a violent struggle. Engender.
感情状況などを生む引き起こす
The Prime Minister's remark engendered considerable controversy. Detrimental.
不利益な
This reform could be detrimental to the tourism industry. Override.
を覆す
The City Council overrode the decision taken by the committee. Secede.
国などから分離する
Finland seceded from Russia and became independent. Deter.
に思いとどまらせる
A phone call deterred him from committing suicide. Verdict.
評決
The jury returned a verdict of not guilty to the defendant. Aggravate.
を悪化させる
Job stress aggravated her disease. Tepid.
ぬるい
The coffee turned tepid while I was talking on the phone. Breakthrough.
飛躍的な進歩現状突破
The new technology has enabled breakthroughs in efficiency.
Respite.
困難などの一時的休止
The battle continued without respite all day. Confound.
計画を妨げる
The vigorous protest from environmental groups confounded the project. Dawdle.
時間を無駄に過ごす
Hurry up. There's no time to dawdle. Mortify.
に恥をかかせるを悔しがらせる
He was mortified at what he had done. Implement.
契約などを履行する実施する
The new service was implemented as planned. Congregate.
集まる
Many people congregated to hear the politician's speech. Enforce.
を実施する施行する
They have the right to enforce the contract. Lavish.
贅沢な
The singer lived a very lavish lifestyle. Zenith.
頂点絶頂
She was at the zenith of her career as a pianist then. Incentive.
動機インセンティブ
The coupon gave incentive to customers to buy from them. Renege.
約束などを破る
The politician soon reneged on his campaign promises. Envision.
将来などを想像する
They tried to envision the future of their community.
Perk.
特典
The company offers great employee perks. Frenetic.
狂ったような狂乱の
Many people are tired of the frenetic pace of modern life. Salient.
顕著な目立った
The doctor explained to her the salient points of the disease. Homage.
敬意
The new champion paid homage to the defending champion. Forge.
関係などを築く
The two countries forged an alliance during the war. Gorge.
渓谷峡谷
The Grand Canyon is a gorge carved by the Colorado River. Mollify.
人をなだめる
He managed to mollify the angry customer. Resplendent.
きらびやかな
The queen looked resplendent in a pink dress. Plight.
苦境
This article focuses on the plight of refugees in the camp. Deem.
を何々と考えるみなす
Fire prevention activities are deemed beneficial to the community. Precarious.
不安定な
This country's economy is in a precarious situation. Clout.
影響力政治力
The queen has no political clout.
Diminish.
減少する
The lake's water level has gradually diminished. Adherent.
信奉者支持者
The actor is an adherent of Tibetan Buddhism. Exuberant.
熱狂的な
The crowd of nearly 1,000 exuberant fans cheered the team. Litigate.
訴訟を起こす
The company is preparing to litigate over software patents. Denote.
を示す意味する
Red numbers denote a decrease in revenues. Rebuke.
を厳しく叱る非難する
I was rebuked by Mr. Hill for cheating on the exam. Enhance.
を高める良くする
This would be a good opportunity to enhance the company's image. Nonchalant.
平然とした
The politician was nonchalant during the questioning by police. Petrify.
人をすくませる
She was petrified at the thought of making a speech. Lambast.
を酷評する
The band's new album was lambasted by critics. Clench.
歯を食いしばる
I clenched my teeth and waited for the pain to go away. Debunk.
が誤りであることを証明する
That study debunked the prevailing view among historians.
Culprit.
犯人容疑者
The police arrested the culprit in the act. Fraught.
危険困難などに満ちた
The situation in the office is fraught with tension. Nudge.
肘で軽くつつくこと
I gave her a nudge when she began to nod off. Refute.
の誤りを証明するを論破する
Adam refuted their argument. Juggle.
をうまく調整する
She is juggling her job with household chores. Dispel.
恐怖などを払いのける
My parents' presence dispelled my anxiety. Invoke.
法などを発動する実施する
The man invoked his right to remain silent. Boisterous.
騒がしい
The police tried to calm the boisterous crowd. Gullible.
騙されやすい
Have you ever considered yourself gullible? Defiance.
権威などに対する反抗的態度
The people showed defiance against the social reform program. Reparation.
賠償金
The country was forced to pay huge war reparations. Ostracize.
を仲間外れにする
The girl was ostracized by her classmates.
Exonerate.
人の無実の罪を晴らす
He was exonerated of the charge of murder. Mock.
模擬の
Students will be given a mock exam in preparation for the final exam. Soar.
急上昇する
Our product's popularity soared because of the TV commercial. Deduce.
結論などを推定する
Police deduced from the evidence that he was involved in the robbery. Faction.
派閥
He united some imposing factions in the party. Insurmountable.
克服できない
Our development team was faced with an insurmountable obstacle. Accrue.
利子などがたまる
Interest will accrue at an annual rate of 3%. Spearhead.
の先頭に立つ
He spearheads a campaign against gun crime. Lanky.
ひょろっとした
She is short and stocky, while her brother is tall and lanky. Ultimatum.
最後通告
The UN issued an ultimatum to the country. Teeming.
場所が人や動物などがたくさんいる
I left the teeming Shinjuku station. Adjourn.
会議などを延期する。
The meeting was adjourned for a week.
Impending.
危険などが差し迫った。
What can be done to avoid the impending disaster? Omen.
前兆。
I hope it's not a bad omen. Evade.
義務、責任などを逃れる。
He tried to evade his responsibilities. Intrinsic.
固有の。
Do you think that money has an intrinsic value? Referendum.
国民投票。
Norway held a referendum on joining the EU. Drag.
を引きずる。
The singer was dragged into a drug scandal. Tout.
を絶賛する。
He is touted as the best NBA player of all time. Accentuate.
を強調する、際立たせる。
The actress's short hair accentuates her natural beauty. Pricey.
高価な。
That wine is excellent, but a little pricey at $50. Placate.
をなだめる。
He failed to placate the angry customer. Diffuse.
の緊張を和らげる。
The UN tried to diffuse the tension between the two countries. Altruistic.
利他的な。
Saving someone's life at the risk of your own is an altruistic act.
Waive.
権利などを放棄する。
She waived her right to appeal against the sentence. Inculcate.
人に思想、知識などを教え込む、植え付ける。
Their education inculcated the children with a sense of morality. Accolade.
称賛。
The movie director has received many accolades and awards. Succinct.
簡潔な。
He gave us a succinct description of the project. Arbitrary.
恣意的な。
Democracy provides a defense against arbitrary exercise of power. Affront.
侮辱。
He took my remark as a personal affront. Defunct.
現存しない。
That drug company was founded in 1830 and now is defunct. Bridle.
怒って頭を上げてツンとする。憤慨する。
He bridled at the suggestion that he was dishonest. Muster.
勇気などを奮い起こす。
She couldn't muster the courage to tell the truth. Mundane.
平凡な。つまらない。
She has led a mundane life. Negate.
の存在を否定する。
The existence of animals in this region has been negated. Feign.
を装う。のふりをする。
He tried to feign ignorance of the problem.
Aversion.
反感、避けたい気持ち。
The boy has a strong aversion to visiting the dentist. Longevity.
長寿、寿命。
Japan has one of the highest longevity rates in the world. Incur.
負債、損害などを負う、被る。
The company has incurred a large amount of debt. Hype.
古代広告。
The movie didn't live up to the hype. Covert.
内密の、隠された。
He took part in the covert operations of the government. Hoax.
まがいもの、でっち上げ。
We've been fooled in elaborate hoaxes. Repercussion.
悪い影響。
High oil prices could have repercussions for the world economy. Taunt.
を罵る。
They taunted me for being a coward. Wreak.
損害などをもたらす。
The flood wreaked havoc on the crop. Disparate.
共通点のない。
These seemingly disparate events are actually connected together. Impeccable.
火の打ちどころがない。
She was impeccable in appearance and behavior. Infringe.
侵害する。
Don't infringe on our privacy.
Delusion.
妄想、思い違い。
He is under the delusion that I am lying to him. Stipulation.
法律、契約などの規定、条項。
There is no such stipulation involved in the contract. Surmise.
を推測する。
Scientists surmised that the object had come from outer space. Onslaught.
猛攻撃。
The area continues to face the onslaught of rough weather. Coverage.
報道。
The news received little media coverage. Languish.
無視される。
The letter has languished in her desk drawer. Curtail.
を削減する。
They decided to curtail the personnel expenditure. Aptitude.
素質、能力。
The teacher found the student had an aptitude for music. Pervasive.
行き渡る、蔓延する。
Poverty is pervasive throughout the country. Reclusive.
孤独に生きる、世を捨てた。
As she got older, she became reclusive. Concussion.
脳震盪。
The soccer player suffered a mild concussion during the game. Augment.
を増加させる。
We need to augment agricultural production.
Pitfall.
落とし穴、隠れた危険。
Make sure you avoid the pitfalls of buying online. Neural.
神経の。
His research is concerned with neural damage. Provision.
法令などの条項、規定。
They added several provisions to the contract to prevent future troubles. Imperative.
必須の、避けられない。
Up-to-date knowledge is imperative to this role. Curfew.
外出禁止令。
The government issued a curfew throughout the area. Momentum.
勢い、やる気。
The campaign gained momentum when many signatures were gathered. Turmoil.
騒動、混乱。
The country is facing economic turmoil. Shun.
を避ける。
She's a vegetarian and shuns animal products. Hub.
活動、権威などの中心、中枢。
Chicago is the hub of transportation. Hone.
技術を磨く。
She is keen to hone her English-speaking skills. Cessation.
休止。
The president announced a complete cessation of military operations. Archipelago.
群島、諸島。
This archipelago comprises 5 inhabited islands.
Engrossed.
没頭して。
He was so engrossed in the book that he couldn't hear the phone ringing. Innocuous.
言動が当たり障りのない、無難な。
She wrote me some innocuous letters back. Preemptive.
先制の。
The country launched a preemptive strike against their neighbors. Frantic.
取り乱した。
He became frantic when he noticed the important documents were missing. Excavate.
を掘る、発掘する。
The archaeologists excavated the remains of an ancient castle. Undermine.
を蝕む、密かに傷つける。
A series of accidents undermined public confidence in nuclear industry. Overt.
あからさまな、公然の。
The two brothers showed overt hostility toward one another. Insulate.
熱、音などを遮断する。
The cabin is fully insulated against the cold. Reprimand.
叱責、懲戒。
His superior gave him a strict reprimand. Precursor.
先行するもの、前兆。
This fossil is identified as a precursor to the modern horse. Unravel.
謎を解く。
The detective easily unraveled the mystery of the case. Misnomer.
誤った呼び方。
It's a misnomer to call such people leaders.
Procurement.
調達、入手。
She is responsible for the procurement of goods and services. Negligent.
怠慢な、不注意な。
The negligent attitude of the staff made the customer angry. Banter.
気さくな会話、冗談の言い合い。
He often has banter with his colleagues during breaks from work. Petulant.
イライラした、短気な。
Stop acting like a petulant child. Gallant.
勇敢な、堂々とした。
My father was a good-humored and gallant man. Grueling.
ヘトヘトに疲れさせる、厳しい。
Everyone was exhausted from the grueling journey. Recoup.
金を取り戻す。
It took us 5 years to recoup our losses. Fugitive.
逃亡犯。
The police finally arrested the fugitive. Feat.
偉業、離れ技。
Achieving consensus on this issue would be quite a feat. Stealth.
こっそり行うこと。
Stealth marketing is a kind of advertising done by word of mouth. Allay.
感情などを和らげる。
She slowly counted to 10 to allay her anger. Debase.
の価値、評判などを落とす。
TV commercials are debased by the internet.
Inundate.
に殺到する。
The TV station was inundated with complaints. Ubiquitous.
偏在する。どこにでも存在する。
Vending machines are ubiquitous in Japan. Baffle.
を困惑させる。
She solved the problem that had baffled scientists for decades. Arid.
土地、気候などが乾燥した。
Some plants are best suited to arid conditions. Outweigh.
に勝る。を上回る。
The advantages of joining the treaty outweigh the disadvantages. Vicinity.
付近。
The missing cat was found in the vicinity of the station. Contingency.
不測の事態。
The prefectural assembly drew up a contingency plan. Stem.
茎。
A new leaf grew from the stem. Circumvent.
法、規制などをかいくぐる。
They tried to circumvent the law and hire illegal immigrants. Influx.
流入、殺到。
Japan had a huge influx of Western culture then. Perpetrate.
犯罪などを犯す。
The man was accused of perpetrating an investment fraud. Equivalent.
数量などが同等の相当する。
This site has an area equivalent to about 100 Tokyo domes.
Idyllic.
牧歌的な、のどかな。
The idyllic town in the Alps attracts many tourists every year. Bane.
破滅のもと、悩みの種。
Piles of paperwork are the bane of my life. Delegate.
を任せる、委託する。
She decided to delegate the job to her subordinates. Vie.
競う。
Some people in the company are vying for the managerial position. Flawed.
欠陥がある。
Critics say the plan is fatally flawed. Immunity.
免責。
He was given immunity from prosecution for his testimony. Plunder.
を略奪する。
The pirate plundered all of the treasures on the ship. Divulge.
秘密などを漏らす、明らかにする。
Lawyers must not divulge confidential client information. Subvert.
体制などを転覆させる。
Their aim was to subvert the capitalist system. Spate.
多数、続発。
Thick fog caused a spate of road accidents yesterday. Proximity.
近いこと。
A new department store was built in close proximity to the station. Inscrutable.
不可解な。
He is good at studies, but I find him inscrutable.
Thrive.
動植物が育つ。
This kind of plant thrives in dry regions. Succumb.
屈する。
She succumbed to a heart attack while performing on stage. Dissident.
反体制派の人。
Many political dissidents were sent to prison in those days. Disparage.
をけなす。
She never disparages her ex-husband. Commiserate.
同情する、憐れむ。
I commiserated with him over his misfortune. Exude.
感情、自信などをあふれ出させる。
He is always positive and exudes confidence. Salvage.
名誉などを回復する、を救う。
The president is desperately trying to salvage his approval ratings. Perplexed.
困惑した。
She seemed perplexed when she received the letter. Bemoan.
を嘆く。
She bemoaned the lack of a good Thai restaurant in her neighborhood. Protocol.
規約、規定。
You need to fully understand and follow the company protocol. Perforation.
ミシン目。
You can tear off the coupons along the perforations. Meekly.
従順に、おとなしく。
She meekly accepted the suggestion.
Fluctuate.
変動する、上下する。
The price of farm products has greatly fluctuated these days. Verify.
を証明する。
The witness verified that what I said was true. Advocate.
支持者、主張者。
He is a leading advocate of political reform. Ramification.
派生して生じる結果。
You should consider the ramifications of your actions. Disperse.
群衆などを追い散らす。
Police dispersed the demonstrators by force. Indigenous.
ある土地、国に固有の。
This region has a large population of indigenous plants and animals. Appall.
をぞっとさせる、愕然とさせる。
The huge doll at the entrance appalled the visitor. Oust.
を追い出す、失脚させる。
The military-led coup ousted him from power. Propagate.
を広める、増やす。
He was accused of propagating false information. Restraint.
自制。
She showed restraint in not mentioning the issue. Chore.
日常的な家事、雑用。
We help each other with daily chores. Vilify.
を悪く言う、けなす。
The soccer player was vilified by the media for his poor performance. Data file. Taxonomy.
分類学。
Primate.
霊長類。
Ape.
猿、類人猿。
Amphibian.
両生類。
Avian.
鳥類の。
Carnivore.
肉食動物。
Termite.
シロアリ。
Lynx.
オオヤマネコ。
Sloth.
怠け者。
Thrush.
つぐみ。
Goby.
ハゼ。
Larch.
カラマツ。
Blight.
銅枯れ病。
Algae.
藻。
Microbe.
微生物。
Zooplankton.
動物性プランクトン。
Parasite.
寄生虫。
Fungus.
カビ、キノコなどの菌類。
Nucleus.
細胞核。
Mutation.
突然変異。
Genome.
ゲノム。
Inbreeding.
近親交配、
chimerism,
キメラ現象、
Archaeopteryx,
始祖鳥、
ingest,
食べ物などを摂取する、
incubate,
孵化する、
deciduous,
落葉性の、
kidney,
腎臓、
skull,
頭蓋骨、
spinal cord,
脊髄、
cartilage,
軟骨、
shoulder blade,
肩甲骨、
brainstem,
脳幹、
prefrontal cortex,
前頭前皮質、
immune system,
免疫系、
receptor,
受容器官、
gland,
腺、
thyroid,
甲状腺、
membrane,
白膜、皮膜、
retina,
網膜、
spine,
脊柱、背骨、
rib,
あばら骨、
extremities,
手足、四肢、
womb,
子宮、
saliva,
唾液、
feces,
排泄物、